All right, I'm going to start this a little bit early, give people a chance to join into the stream. For those of you who are here already, welcome to some Friday Night Star Wars. Tonight we're going to be having the match play consolation event match between Dan and Kyle. Dan Tartaglione, commonly one of the streamers who would be covering the match, but he's playing. So we're going to be watching him play, and looks like they're actually already set and started. Dan is going to be playing dark here, so we're going to just jump right in, see what we've got going on. All right. So we have ISB from Dan against Watch Your Step from Kyle. Slip sliding away start as expected with the Imperial Square. Starting Imperial Arrest Order, Quat Drive Yards Virtual, and Imperial Enforcement. I always forget what we renamed that card. Kyle's going to be starting Walkling, Squadron Assignments, and I Must Be Allowed to Speak Virtual. So pretty common starts here from both of them. Been seeing the Imperial Enforcement be a little bit more in vogue for ISB. Does mean having to give up starting the ISB agent droid, but the additional retrieval certainly helps a lot with a control deck like ISB. Dan's picking up Admiral Chirino with Imperial Command. I have to admit, I haven't fully kept up with all of the different tweaks that ISB has seen lately, or rather the common builds that have been running around lately. I'm playing too much Jawa Cup the last couple weeks, so you don't have to see ISB there. And kicking things off with Emperor Palpatine right to the Imperial Square right away. And Dan gives up a verify on turn 1 with Imperial Arrest Order. That's got to be pretty unlucky. One would think there's got to be at least two docking bays to pull out of this deck, possibly 3. So certainly possible you could have one in hand, but still not exactly how you want to start. Does pull the Mustafar system with Quat Drive Yards. We'll see if he's activated the Mustafar site also. Oh, okay, Executor Docking Bay from hand. And Dan just draws up after that, so one would assume that there is a Mustafar Vader's Castle in the deck somewhere, and it must have been activated. Dan taking the Force Lightning into hand. Emperor to Imperial Square seems really interesting in this matchup, because Watch Your Step is one of the decks that just isn't really allowed to run very many spies. So defending the Imperial Square is not of critical importance in this matchup, or at least I wouldn't think so. You would certainly want to send Moff Gideon there. That would be the most likely character that you'd want to park at the square. And my assumption would be that you wouldn't actually want to commit much else there, but we'll see what comes of that. And of course, Kyle giving a verify right back, since he has either activated his Kessel or has it in hand. I assume activated, because having it in hand and then on purpose giving the verify anyway would be an interesting line. We had a couple people watching. Welcome. So Kyle open-handed the boss Nass Chambers. And it's going to use Squadron assignments to match with the Millennium Falcon. So we'll see what it comes out with. Captain Han would be my guess. There's Captain Han. From this, it would seem to be a more traditional build of Watch Your Step. I've been playing around with the build that Chris Werfs played at the main event in the Match Play Championships, which was a no questions asked build with EPP Hans, a lot more weapons and moving around, and particularly playing Yarna Del Gargan to pull Mos Eisley to go with the Cantina. So that build's been fun, but very different than this. Kyle's just going to draw up the rest of his force pile here. Okay. So we'll come back around to Dan's turn. And another verify with the docking base. So unless he was just doing that to look at his reserve deck, which I suppose is possible, we might be looking at a situation where the bottom card of force is the Death Star 2 docking bay or the Coruscant docking bay. And Dan might be in a bit of a spot trying to figure out how to get into that. Oh, Decrepital, thanks for the subscription here. 3 months on Twitch Prime. Well, it was fun. It's been fun to play with anyway. I've certainly enjoyed the deck quite a lot, having never really played Watch Your Step. So, you have Tarkin's Bounty to pull a card from Force Pile. Equally importantly, to shuffle the Force Pile and get that bottom card out of there. And we're going right to space here with a Tyrant. We know that there's an Admiral Cherno in hand. There could very likely be another Imperial pilot to commit here. There's an Ozzel. Although that is not enough ability. We're going to have another one here. There's the Cherno. Okay. Oh, and a lateral damage. Well, that's going to make this battle a lot more palatable. Oh, that's true. That is true. We are drawing on our own, or drawing if unable, with Quad Drive Yards. Okay, that Imperial Command is not going to do what Dan wants, provided that we avoid the bug from the Tatooine system, which we seem to have. One Destiny, probably still plenty though with a 0 power Millennium Falcon here. And Kyle draws a 3, which is not gonna cut it here with Quad Drive Yards adding the immunity. So it's gonna be a pretty big beatdown early if Cal didn't happen to have the Hujix right off the bat. One would imagine lateral damage, probably the card that we picked up with Tarkin's Bounty, which is certainly a good find if it was. Cal's just going to start peeling. So that's not really where you want to start the game off in certainly not in a match play situation, or really in any game situation. One saving grace, he did lose a number of interrupts there. So we lost the Ellersmatic that we drew for Battle Destiny, and then from hand there was a few maneuvers, Wisa, Odin Nestler combo. Then we lost a moving to attack position, all wings combo, and life debt. So our possible saving grace there, since once Watcher Step flips, he will be able to play some of those interrupts out of Lost Pile. So, but a bit more in the back foot than you want to start, certainly. We'll see what we find with the control tunnel vision that Kyle has after activating. Well, makes his choice pretty quickly. We're going to play the Large Moisture Farm using the Farm Puller effect. And then we're going to go to ground. So we have Luke Skywalker Rebel Scout. Really popular card since being added to the meta. Get our use pile full from I Must Be Allowed to Speak. We'll see if there's any backup here. So Lando, so another use pile pull. Dan takes this opportunity now to pull a useless gesture V, which is certainly the most common shield that you would pull against Watch Your Step. And Kyle adds Luke's lightsaber, so we're threatening a drain of 3 here at the Cantina. Of course, ISV is also going to be draining 3 in space, so. Yeah, Kylo's going to go ahead and pull the battle plan shield. And Daniel's just going to do the drain for 3. Makes a lot of sense. He's certainly quite far ahead after that first battle. And ahead in cards in hand here too, so it's a good spot, just keep the pressure on. Kyle just peels 3 from reserve. It's going to be It's a Trap, It's a Hit, and Melis V. So we've lost a couple of characters, but mostly interrupts so far. So Erica V to the Cantina. Interesting. And we're reverting. That makes a lot of sense. It's certainly going to be an interesting battle with Erica V and the Cantina. Alright. Now we pull the Mustafar Vader's Castle. And use Quadrivards again to pull another system. It's the best spin. Okay. And Dan then probably just going to draw a bunch more cards from here. So here's certainly quite ahead here, so even facing a drain of 3 on the ground. Kyle can certainly well within his abilities to flip here, but he's then going to be facing a nearly full hand, so certainly in a tough spot early. Dan's pulling something with Death Squadron assignment. It's very likely another ship. Yep. It's a Vengeance V. I really like this card. It's an excellent Star Destroyer. It's even Destiny 2. And Kylo's going to do the drain of 3. Just try to keep up a little bit. We'll lose the Death Squadron assignments. And then an Imperial Decree from hand and Paltradium from reserve. Interesting. So Kyle has two different personas of Han. We have EVP Han going to the docking bay along with Talon card that will flip the objective. Kyle pretty tight on cards in hand though, down only 2 and not a lot of force to draw. We're going to use some of it. Notably, Dr. Kawasaki not enough to play the It's a Trap from Lost here. So he leaves 2 force. He's going to play all wings combo here during Dan's activate to find a ship, deploy to space, be able to satisfy battle plan. Although you do have to be wary of the known vengeance in hand. And considering whether to grab that, it's pretty reasonable. Oh. Possibly we were just waiting on Kyle to choose his ship, actually. Goes with the Pulsar Skate. Dan is going to drain for 3. And Kyle is going to cancel it with Control Tunnel Vision. It's a pretty reasonable use of it, actually. Dan missing again with Imperial Arrest Order. I assume he is playing a second docking bay. Dan's trying to revert past the use of Imperial Arrest Order. I don't know why. No, Kyle doesn't let him anyway, so Dan skips through his deploy phase. Oh. I wonder if Dan accidentally passed his deploy, and that's... Yeah, that's what happened. Dan passed his deploy by accident. Yeah, Dan explains the situation, then we do get the rebirth. So. certainly would not have really made sense for Dan to not deploy anything there, so. Alright, so we have Arc of Me now going to the Cloud City site, which is the upper walkway. Move tech's probably not going to come up here. And then Vader Emperor's Enforcer going down to visit the family farm. So that is going to mean a drain of 2 on the ground. And we're satisfying resistance as well, so limiting Luke's drain at the cantina. Well, Dan's certainly remaining in the driver's seat here. Imperial enforcement is in effect. Although the ISB objective itself is still not flipped, so. So one would think that Kyle needs to go to space here. He is going to miss with squadron assignments with the pulsar skate. So his wedge, well, likely his wedge and his Mirax would be activated or in hand. So it's not guaranteed that he has both, but it seems very likely that he would have both of those characters in his deck. Arc of V is an interesting choice here. Certainly likely not going to be getting that retrieval text to go off, but potentially being able to relocate over to Luke's site could be valuable. Kyle's going to play Jedi Levitation as a loss to retrieve one of the characters. Probably not Han. Probably can either Melis or Elor's Matic. And Dan does not have any anti-retrieval shields, so that's not going to cost any extra. Let's retrieve the Melis. Waiting on Dan's action here. I wonder if he's thinking about pulling a shield now. Secret plan shield to get around it. No. We've retrieved Melis just as a pilot, so that the pulsar skate can deploy. Alright. Going to Mustafar. Of the two open systems, I suppose that seems like the safer option. You have to be a little wary with the Vestment system out of a sneak executor. It seems not especially likely. And Kyle's going to refill his hand here. He's going to leave just 2 force back. So it is enough to play and interrupt from Lost. Dan's going to cause quite a bit of damage in drains here. Looks like 6. Well, 5. Kyle wisely pulls his ultimatum shield. Kyle's going to have a little bit of a challenging time keeping that ultimatum shield active since the Falcon is gone. And he doesn't have either Wedge or Mirrex Tarek on the Pulsar Skate. This Pulsar Skate's not in its optimal spot here, especially with Dan having still a known Star Destroyer in hand. I was going to lose a Run Luke run from hand. Seems reasonable. Not a lot of reason for Dan to be attacking on the ground here. Drain a 2 here at the farm. Moves the Chewy and Raged from reserve, and a Rescue in the Clouds from reserve. And then finally the drain of 3 cap to 2 at the Tatooine system. There was a Hoojix out of nowhere from reserve, and a Wisa got a Grand Army from reserve. So losing that Hoojix is actually pretty useful here. So it does mean that Kyle's going to be protected from a big beatdown in space. Although Dan does know that also, so doesn't have to commit to it. Getting another verify here. Kind of assume at this point Dan's just doing it to look at his deck. Although, I would be really surprised if he was only running one docking bay. I'm still stuck on this point of trying to find that other docking bay. Because I always forget to pull my second one with Insurrection. Yeah, so we got the Vengeance going after the Pulsar Skate. And Agent Callus as a pilot. Dan takes a Gick into hand from Agent Callus's game text, puts a Trample on reserve. Or unused. And then he's just battling. Does not have the second agent to get the second destiny. We're still outpowering by a lot though, so. And without the intended pilots for the Pulsar Skate, only maneuver 4 even. So Dan's gonna draw, and I can't shake him. So 5 for Destiny. Currently up by 11. Let's see what Kyle can draw here. Luke Rebel Scout, which is gonna get redrawn. And an All Wings. So 5 will crack immunity, although Callus will cover the 5. Imperial Enforcement will trigger, so that'll let Dan retrieve Lieutenant Paul. I don't think there are any other Imperials in Lost. Now Dan's going to reduce that Destiny by 1 with a Dark Time. Okay. That makes it 15 to 8. That doesn't really change much of anything. And Kyle's going to play heading for the medical frigate to add the 1 back to the Destiny. So it's still going to be 15 to 9. Ah, that's what it was. The 1 extra means that Melis will cover completely from the forfeit boost from the 7th side of the objective. So it all makes sense. Kyle's going to lose that Kessel system from hand for Vengeance's game text. And Callus is going to cover the attrition. Melis is going to cover the attrition and damage. They're just going to turn off Battle Plan for the light side. But he did draw a few cards last turn, so he might have found the Wedge or the Merrick's to pair with the Pulsar Skate. Or to pilot the Pulsar Skate, I suppose. And the Vengeance is just going to run away. Seems reasonable. You don't really want to lose it for free to any pilot. And Dan's going to pull General Veers with Imperial Command. I'd be a little slightly concerned about walkers coming to the docking bay now, but see what Kyle can do here. He's down 16 to 29 in the life force counts. He is going to spend 3/4 to drain for 2 at the Cantina. Dan's going to lose 2 Emperors off the top of reserve. And Kyle's also going to drain for 1 at the docking bay. Interesting. That'll be Lieutenant Paul again. Kyle uses Talon card to look at a random card from Dan's hand. It is an Imperial Command. Mostly that means that if there was any hope of attacking the Tatooine system, that mostly has to go out the window now. At least for the moment. There's our Merrick's Tarek. It's our pilot for the Pulsar Skate. And Loslami Takema? I ever say it wrong. So Pulsar Skate is now going to draw 2 destinies. Unless I'm greatly misremembering their ability numbers. Yeah, 2 destinies. And Dan is going to pull the Firepower Shield. And Kyle's going to respond by pulling Aim High. So I believe that does shield bust both of them. We haven't seen any of the shield pulling interrupts. Certainly possible they'd have them. And Kyle's going to draw a card. Presumably just trying to satisfy battle plan here. And recirculates, saving 3. And Dan will pay his 1 for his retrieval on Firepower. Because we're satisfying both battle plan and ultimatum. So Dan's going to deal 5 damage and drains here. Oh, Kyle's pitching a sorry about the mess from hand. And that extra Luke Rebel Scout from hand, and then a Wisa from reserve. And then we lose a Dash Rendar from reserve, and the K2SO. So he did have a spy. And there is the Blizzard 1 to the docking bay. I was musing about last turn. We know there is a General Veers in hand as well as the Imperial Command. This could be a pretty rough battle. Kyle could certainly have another It's a Trap in hand, although General Veers just went not piloting. Yeah, Dan was trying to avert that. That seems like clearly just a misclick. So with 3 Force, Kyle does have enough to play an Interrupt from Lost. Could also play an It's a Trap from hand. He's going to play... Oh, he's going to play the Run Luke Run from Lost to add Luke to the battle. So that's going to be... So that's going to be a lot more power. It is going to be 3 Destinies momentarily, but one would kind of have to imagine that Dan's going to play his Imperial Command now. Especially since Kyle has used all of his force, so he can't grab the Imperial Command. Yeah, so Dan plays the command to limit Kyle's Destiny draws. This would be quite a spot for Kyle to have a Smokescreen in hand. But we'll see if that or any other tricks are forthcoming. Well, there's the Cold Feet for extra shields later on. Drawn as a Destiny here. 5 and a 1. That's probably going to be redrawn by Enforcement. And a 1 again. The same card. Back-to-back Tarkins. It's not exactly how you want it tracked. So Dan only has 6 for Battle Destiny here, which is going to be covered by Talent card. Although Kyle only draws a 1 back for the Chewie with Bowcaster, so that's going to represent a lost battle and a retrieval from Enforcement, retrieving a Emperor. It's not quite a good tracking stack there, but putting a 6 down somewhere good is always helpful. Yeah, Talent card will cover. Alright, and then the Tyrant loaded up with a bunch of pilots is going to fly over to Mustafar. And Vader is going to join the party at the docking bay. And he's going to get in Blizzard 1. Makes sense, since there is a lightsaber there. So Dan giving up a little bit of damage potential, only going to be draining now for, well, 3, I suppose, if Ultimatum remains satisfied. He's going to be losing 2 in drains himself at the Cantina. Kyle are getting really low on force to do things here. Dan also playing like the least on theme ISB deck ever. There's one ISB agent on table. Kyle trying to figure out how much he's supposed to activate to try to accomplish anything here. Has to also be in his mind how to try to limit the differential here, since this is game one of a match play match. Game two, I believe, scheduled to play tomorrow at the same time, 6:30. Well, 6:30 for me. My time's the only one that matters. 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, and then there's other time zones that I don't know. All right, Cal's going to leave 2 force back. He's going to cause the 2 force drain. Dan's going to lose Never Urinal from reserve and Stormtrooper Garrison from reserve. Both players' hand size is pretty close, but 12 to 26 in favor of Dan and the Life Force. So that 7-point beatdown and then steady battle damage, or steady drain damage since then has taken its toll so far. With a Theranet joining things at the docking bay, so that's going to get a 3rd destiny for Kyle. Not that he has 3 destinies to draw, but it's the thought that counts. Most importantly, I suppose they're now adding 6 forfeit to hopefully cover any losses here. Be very backbreaking if Dan had another command. So we're going to battle. Kind of imagine the way that Kyle wants this turn to play out is he will draw enough for Destiny to crack the attrition. No, it's a good point, Vanish. It is only going to be 2 Destinies no matter what, since if nothing else, Vader will cancel Han's text for the extra one. So instead, Kyle is battling in space. So he's going to draw 2 Destinies against the Tyrant. And he is playing Interrupt from the Lost Pile here. 24 cards in his Lost Pile. I don't remember what it is. A few maneuvers, all right? So that's going to get Pulsar Skate up to maneuver 6, if I remember correctly. Yep, maneuver 6. Which one kind of has to imagine means there's going to be a Destiny draw of 6 here from a All Wings combo. Kyle also running out of force to play interrupts from Lost File here. So yeah, they're substituting that, substituting with All Wings combo, Dark Lighter Spin, to get the 6 as one of the Destiny draws. Dan is going to grab that, which seems reasonable. I must have missed something here. Why did he only draw 1 Destiny? Well, Kyle did crack the immunity with the 6 Destiny draw, and both the admirals are forfeit 4s, so it is going to kill both of them. Um, but Kyle's going to have to eat 6 battle damage, and he loses a wedge to cover one of it, and then Mirax to cover the other 5. I was curious. I don't understand why there was only 1 battle destiny. Should have been 2. They're reverting because they lost the wrong one here. Yes. Certainly Kyle would want to lose Leslami instead of Mirek so that he still gets to draw a Battle Destiny. Alright, so we're still going to play the few maneuvers. We had to revert to before the battle. Oh, no, they had to revert quite that far, but I was going to make sure you revert far enough you don't have to do multiple reverts. Well, now that we're redoing the battle, let's see if I can figure out why he only drew 1 destiny. Scamp is certainly saying there should be 2. We're going to substitute the 6. Grab the All Wings combo, so same as before. And then he's also going to draw the 2. Okay. Alright. Don't really know what happened the first time around, but there we go. And then still draws Officer Evax as 2 for Destiny, redraws that with Enforcement, and then draws the Stormtrooper Patrol that he did before. Alright, good. I mean, even if he wants to battle on the ground, Chris, he doesn't have the option of drawing of substituting the 1 Destiny with the combo and then not drawing the other one, right? Yeah, Adam, I think that must be what it is. I agree. I don't know why that would be the case. That doesn't really make sense to me, but that kind of has to be what it is. Yeah. Well, certainly playing a few maneuvers before the battle did get the second draw that was supposed to happen. So that worked out great, or worked out correctly. And then Pulse Ray is going to move over and block the drain at the Tatooine system. So now Kyle's only taking 1 damage. And then Lando's going to join everybody at the docking bay. Yeah, it must be a bug of some kind. I'll try to mention to Dan to submit a bug report afterwards. Any events, and I'm with you here. I like the move. Battling with 1 Destiny against the 2 seems like it's hard for it to be worth it. Kyle loses Obi-Wan off the top, so yeah, that would have been a Destiny draw of 1, which I don't know if he knew that was there, but that's a good point, Chris. I don't know why he forfeited a character. I agree, it doesn't seem like he should have had to. I didn't notice it before because I was thinking about the power difference from when they did the battle the first time around, and he had to lose a lot more. So Dan caused a couple of ping drains, lost Obi-Wan Kenobi and dodge from reserve, and Dan is dropping a whole bunch of stuff on the Vengeance. So we got Isana Azard, we got Officer Evax, we have Tarkin drawing 3 more cards, we have Lieutenant Paul drawing a card from used. So this battle is going sideways in a hurry. We got 13 power and a Destiny against 4 power and in theory a Destiny, but in reality not because of Tarkin. Yeah, I agree, Chris. It's kind of hard to imagine the game continuing after this battle. He draws the Outrider again, which Dan can cancel, but why? Causes the ping loss with Vengeance. And then Kyle's going to owe 11 battle damage anyway. Although I'm not entirely sure why the Vengeance doesn't seem to beat me to attrition here. Well, we'll forfeit Officer Evax to cover that, but yeah. Yeah, I agree, Werfs. That certainly looks like a bug to me. I don't see anything that would cause that, but anyway, Kyle's going to lose everything in space, and also 1 more card, which is going to be the Tatooine Celebration from hand. Yeah, that doesn't seem like that was ever really going to be holdable this game. And then Dan's just going to move here. Not really much reason to battle into the stack of characters. Just hold down the drain. We're 21 to 9 and 6 in hand against 1 for Kyle, so doesn't really even seem to be much way to cause much damage here. He does get a free retrieval with Walkling since Dan is currently shield busted, so I suppose there's that. Oh, really? Merrick's wasn't +2 forfeit there? Dan says the 2 cards in Kyle's reserve are a Destiny 5, Destiny 4. Thanks for doing that, Dan. Dan's going to play Death Squadron Assignments, and Kyle's going to grab it because may as well. And Dan has no hits for that card in his reserve. I was just trying to put the 4 back, but such as it is. Yeah, Merrick's Cherick was only covered 5 battle damage. Yeah, that's Gam's kind of had it up to here with us in our at our quarantine. It's throwing us all kinds of curveballs now. All right, so we're gonna have a battle, and And because he consolidated after getting his Space Force, or no, because his Space Force got taken out, Watcher Steps no longer flipped. So after Vader cancels, Han's game attack Slate sets on the drawing 1 Destiny, which is a Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, so that's the 4. That's not going to do it. Yeah, I agree, Chris. Kind of feels like he probably should have just shown up, but. Because, yeah, this battle is going to be a retrieval from Imperial Enforcement, so adds 1 to the diff. Only overpowers by 1. So not enough for let him peel for the loss. Yeah. So Dan's going to get 1 more force back from Imperial Enforcement. Yeah, Decrepitable, I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's bizarre. um, Is there something on the table that is just causing all immunity to be canceled? Like, the Emperor is also not immune to attrition right now. Although Arika is. Yeah, this is a wild and crazy bugged Gemp game. Does one of these ISB agents do something crazy that I don't know about? No. Does Tyrant do something crazy I don't know about? No. All right. Yeah. This game plays out very differently when no one has any immunity to attrition. Well, we can certainly say that. That's a good point. Quick draw. Let's see. So there was Lieutenant Paul, there was Officer Evax, there was Tarkin, and there was his son. Yeah, ISB also should have flipped. Man. So if they get to like 10 bugs, do they just have to draw? Is that... There's got to be some kind of meta rule, right? Yeah, Kyle's just playing. Wait, he just played an all-wings combo to search his reserve and then didn't have to pay for it from it being grabbed. Okay, sure. Why not? Yeah, Chris, I don't think there's any like serious change to this, but it's at this point just amusing to count them all up. R2D2V loss. Okay, that's another spy that Watcher Set can play. Interesting. I'd not consider that, but that is a pretty good one actually. Yeah, I don't think either of them are on purpose exploiting any known bugs. Um, we can give Dan credit for maybe just misplaying on the turn 2 battle when he tried to add a Destiny at the Tatooine system. Yeah, then he's going to just move away. Yeah, Cal's going to get a free retrieval here and drain for 2, which is just going to be 2 lost from hand, and then... Yep. Yes. Well, there was at least some comedy at the end of that game. Looks like this is going to be a... yeah, this is going to be a win by 23 for Dan for game 1. It's a pretty sizable win. I believe based on the rules for the consolation bracket, they are able to change decks between. So, oh, actually, Kyle might not be dead here, although I don't know why he would continue. There's not really much benefit to doing that. Because he could lose 2 from hand here, but yeah. So win by 23 for Dan. Kind of a very bug-ridden finish to that, but a good win nonetheless. As I was saying, I believe they are permitted to change decks between rounds, so fully up in the air here. We'll see what Kyle tries to bring out to get a win by 24 for tomorrow's game. It's a pretty significant loss pile count difference too. So if it comes down to that, yeah, it's got to be win by 24. So, well, thanks for watching, everybody. They are agreeing that they're going to be playing that game same time tomorrow. So if you're free Saturday evening, feel free to come back and watch the other side of the match. But for right now, I'm gonna close down the stream. Thanks for watching. Hope I made it entertaining for everybody as much as possible. And have a good night. We'll see y'all tomorrow.